To find out more about Sinapis and learn about their training programs, go to www.sinapis.org. Welcome back to the Sinapis Business Competition. What will the judges think of the next finalists? Let's find out.
Welcome to Mr. B Hives, where we are taking you back to the old original taste of honey. My name is Calvin Tioni, founder and technical lead, and I'm joined here by my colleague, Josek Maderi, co-founder and commercial lead, aka Mr. B. We are currently in a global honey crisis, whereby we have an increasing demand for honey against a dwindling production supply. This has gotten to have an effect of creating adulteration. In this case for honey, means that honey is laced with sugar and other syrups to bulk up production to meet demand. A case study done by Macquarie University in Australia, sampling local honey, investigated that up to 28% of honey coming in from Europe was adulterated. Up to 52% of honey coming in from Asia was adulterated, and 18% of honey within the Australian market was adulterated. Coming close to the Kenyan market, our current production supply stands at 25,000 metric tons against a national demand of 125,000 metric tons. Wooden beehives, by virtue of their nature, can either become too hot, too cold for the bees. Our concrete beehives provides a conducive environment inside the hives for the bees to thrive. The other advantage is that wooden hives are normally light and easy to carry and are prone to wildlife attacks. Our concrete beehive is not only strong, it's also lockable and can withstand wildlife attacks. Our concrete beehive does not require any maintenance and in fact lasts a lifetime. All these advantages go a long way to ensure production of honey is increased and sustained.
Plot 280 is our land. That is 54 acres. That is a forest within a forest of 3,000 acres. Uniquely placed because half of this forest is mangrove forest, and mangrove forest produces special honey, specialty honey, mangrove honey, which is medicinal, and it's normally like 3 times worth the normal honey. This place rains every 3 weeks, and so what happens, there is continuous flowering of the plants, which actually gives you the indication that there will be continuous flow of honey because of nectar and pollen. We are great on social impact. We are very deliberate on our social impact. So what we've done, we want to work with the youth and the jobless women in Kwale County. We're already working with them through the chief, the assistant chief, the village elders. So we want to empower these people. So as we make our hives, we shall loan these people who cannot afford to buy our hives without them spending any coin except goodwill and social security. And so they're gonna get money from hives that they never invested any money. And in the next 5 years, our plan is to be disbursing about 2.1 million shillings to that village. We shall also train them in conjunction with Sinapis so that we can empower them with economic skills such that beyond our apiary, they can go and make other businesses, including honey, elsewhere. Come up with an investor structure such that an investor comes and leases our hives contractually for 5 years. And in those 5 years, we share revenue generated from the sale of hives in such a way that by the 2nd year, the investor has fully recouped his or her investment. A case in point is somebody who invests 5 million shillings for 400 hives. By the end of that 5 years, his investment will have grown every year by 37%. And for us, we will have grown by 45%. And our ask is 3 million shillings so that we can generate that place more hives, okay, and get there and 75% for hives, 25% for operations.
And are you the ones making the hives or it's a third party?
No, we are the ones who are making the hives.
Okay.
We have, I'm the technical lead, like you said. We have a Mzinga team who are in charge of manufacturing the hives. Though we are also engaging suppliers, especially now for the wooden frames. because right now we are dealing with the concrete superstructure of the beehive.
If you have 400 hives, how quickly can you get people to man the 400 hives?
Yes.
It will be gradual. It will be gradual. The first month, actually, we only do 70 hives. And so we have a plan that is gradual to grow even for those times up to 400 hives. It's not just at once. Okay. And then our production center site is in Syokimau. That's where we are producing. We have a quarter of an acre. That's where we are producing our hives from.
I come from a generation of coffee farmers. My parents were born in the rural parts of central Kenya. They grew coffee at the foothills of Mount Kenya, and just like Kenyan coffee, life was sweet and enjoyable. The coffee proceeds were then used to finance their education, and this allowed them to dream of a better life. Unfortunately, the glorious days of coffee farming is a thing of the past. And that brings me to the dark side of coffee, then an equal financial and social exchange. Under the current supply chain system, the welfare of the coffee farmer is often neglected. There are 700,000 coffee farms in Kenya, and currently the farmers are facing losses or low and unsustainable income due to low commodity prices and mismanaged cooperatives. Chiswara is a tech-enabled coffee company that provides a more equitable coffee experience for both the local producers and global consumers alike by our e-commerce platform. At Chiswara, we are uniquely positioned at the top of the coffee quality pyramid. Our coffee is considered specialty coffee because it is of single origin, hand-picked, and the ethically sourced beans are grown traditionally, harvested naturally, and roasted lovingly. They are the star of every cup. The coffee industry is a $100 billion industry. Chiswara is specializing on the $36 billion industry in the specialty global coffee market. The highest valued single market is the US market, which is a $5 billion industry. Chiswara's target customer is focused on the bean quality, the origin, the tasting notes, and the roasting technique. So with the current coffee value chain, the smallholder coffee farmers are mandated to sell the coffee through cooperatives. The exporter will then go to the central auction, purchase the green beans, and then the importer will liaise with the exporter to have the coffee shipped to the US. So the value creation of the coffee happens in the coffee consuming country. The roaster will then purchase the green beans from the importer, will do the roasting, and then distribute to the retailer. Now at Chiswara, we are revolutionizing the coffee value chain. We are working directly with the smallholder coffee farmer. We then bring the value addition back home. So we do the roasting, we do the packaging, and we distribute via air, via quick delivery, and also still maintaining the optimum freshness of the coffee. And we ship it to the retailer. So depending on the sales channel that we will use, we maintain a healthy gross margin ranging between 22 to 45%. So at Chiswara, we are able to own the value chain to the point where we package the coffee, and we are able to guarantee traceability at farmer level. So our immediate ask is $100,000. We would love to get recommendation for an advisory board and expertise in international sales, marketing, and logistics. At Chiswara, our farmer-focused approach stimulates inclusive and economic growth by sourcing directly from the smallholder coffee farmer, and most importantly, paying them fairly for the coffee beans. And customers like you allow companies like us to continue to imagine a more inclusive and sustainable future for coffee. Thank you.
You say you are a serial entrepreneur. So why would somebody get the confidence to invest in your business and be sure you'll be there, even in the hard times, or you'll move on to something else? Yeah, maybe you could let me know that.
So the concept of Chiswara, I had an opportunity to go to Alibaba in China, and I was really inspired by the rural commerce and how it's been able to elevate people from poverty, especially people in the countryside. So as I mentioned, it's something close to heart because my great-grandfather had a coffee farm, and I think if he was alive, he'd be proud to see what I'm doing. So I may not be a coffee farmer, but I believe I can bring some technical and social change to the industry.
I think you're asking for very little, especially if you're going to try and penetrate these really large markets. Yeah. Why not ask for more and try and grow a lot faster?
Yeah.
Before other people take your ideas and run with them.
Definitely. Definitely that would be something to consider. So the funding would be just for the first year to prove the market, and then after that year, once we're able to figure out the numbers, we'll definitely go for the next round for the company.
With the early stage entrepreneurs done, it's time to hear from those with more established business models.
I am the founder and CEO of Faith Engineering Works. We have supplied over 500 clean cooking stoves across the 47 counties. These are some of the problems that our clients have been facing. 75% of schools in Kenya use firewood, and this is causing negative environment impact in Kenya. Some schools have shifted to briquette, which is a much cleaner source of fuel compared to firewood. For many years that we have been in business, together with the feedback that we have been receiving from our clients, we have come to a conclusion that the problem in this industry or sector is not about which type of fuel is better or safe, but rather the systems that is used to burn the fuel. Allow me to introduce you to eco-friendly steam cooking system. This is a 3-component part consisting of the steam generator, the steam supply line, and the vessel. This system accelerates the speed of cooking at low energy cost but high in performance. This system uses any type of fuel, be it firewood, briquette, diesel, used oil, or LPG gas. That is our steam generator. Underneath is where you put the source of fuel. Steam is generated as water boils. We use clean drinking water. The steam follows the steam supply lines, going to the 3 vessels. That steam gets into direct contact with the food, reducing the time taken to prepare the meal by 30 to 40% of the time. Our steam generators are mounted outside the kitchen, leaving the vessels and the steam supply lines in the kitchen, occupying very little space. Our competition is coming from manufacturers of clean cooking stoves, as well as importers of steam systems. If you look at the initial cost of eco-friendly steam cooking system, we are slightly lower in price compared to imported steam cooking system. But going to the annual fuel and maintenance cost, you realize that eco-friendly steam cooking system is much cheaper compared to the conventional cooking system. Eco-friendly steam cooking system has a lifetime of 20 years, and the other cooking system have a maximum lifespan of 10 years. Our target market are schools. There are over 40,000 institutions in Kenya. We have a viable market of 30,000 institutions. These are the institutions that have an enrollment of above 500 students. We have done a total of 60 demonstrations. 45 schools are more than willing to purchase our equipment, but all they have asked us is if they can be able to get asset financing. This is why today we are asking you for 10 million Kenya shillings. Part of this money will be going to the production of 3 units, one which we'll be sending to Kigali, Rwanda to unlock the 50 locations, and 2 which we'll put in 2 different institutions so that it unlocks the asset finance that is much needed by the rest of the other institutions. The rest of the money will be shared among purchase of machines because we believe business is going to increase.
For example, with Kigali, Rwanda, are they in a position to sign some undertaking that post deploying the first unit, they will commit to buy X number?
Yeah, Kigali, Rwanda are more than willing to purchase the equipment because currently they are using LPG gas. They are, in one of their kitchen, they are spending about $63,000 to prepare meals. And when we did a presentation and showed them that we can with the use of our equipment, they can be able to reduce between 50 to 60% of their fuel bills, they were quite happy. And they are more than willing to purchase the system. But being an institution is not a one-man's decision. It's a collective responsibility. That is why they told us, you need to take an initiative as a company, bring up the system to one of our locations, let everybody, including the end users, affirm that this system is really going to be beneficial to us. Out of that, we are going to purchase more than the numbers that we need.
Leather is one of the most widely traded commodities globally. It stands at $100 billion. This is greater than the combined trade value of sugar, meat, tea, and coffee. Africa holds 20% value of this, which means it has the capacity to have transformative impact on its economies and its industry, and yet it's plagued by low consumption. We have a natural resource right here. If we value added on this natural resource, we can have an impact of 50,000 jobs annually, an injection into the economy of 150 to 250 million dollars in GDP. But what we do is we take this leather, we send it out when it's raw, we have other people make shoes, we have them wear those shoes, then we have them send those shoes back to us, and then we wear them. Our addressable shoe market is the middle and upper income groups. We've calculated this to be 1.4. That adds up to about $62 million annually. Our solution is, we are a footwear brand primarily. We make accessories as well to complement this footwear. We're very intentional to do this here in Kenya, and we're intentional to do this with local leather, and we want to value add to premium quality, and we want to do this with a sustainability angle as well, and we want to do this to scale. That's why we're here. So we're in slow fashion. That's the business we are in. We create timeless pieces, we give them native names, we personify these shoes as well, and then we position them in the market as must-have pieces. So we make them aspirational but reachable. We partner with influencers who enjoy our products and appreciate what it is that we're doing to be able to amplify. We tell the customer this is made in Kenya. We tell them that we're passionate about impact. The voice of the brand is very, very personal, and this is how we speak to the customer. We are asking for 8.4 million. This is mainly working capital. We want to put that into lasts and soles. These are key components in the manufacture of shoes. We're backing that up with our labor and material asks at 4.9, and then we want to use the rest to strengthen our distribution channel.
How many jobs have you created so far?
What we have done is we have increased the earning capacity of the people who are working with us. So that's what I can say.
So, and those are the people in the value chain, not the people necessarily that you...
Yes, so it would be the artisans, it would be the people we're buying the materials from as well. So that's who I can say. But of course, if we have more uptake, the factories we're working with are the ones that are adding headcount on their side. It's not direct on our side.
Whose pitch has gotten the attention of the judges? Who will walk away with $1 million shillings?
You can't hear my heartbeat.
So many questions and no answers in sight. That will all change when we come back after this break. To find out more about Sinapis and learn about their training programs, go to www.sinapis.org.